2018 Travelers Curling Club Championships being held at the Miramichi, New Brunswick at the Miramichi Curling Club. My name is Arnold Malley and I'm here with Joe Walsh. Hi, Joe.
Hawks.
Hawks.
That's okay. First time we met each
That's
other.
Right.
And we could have got anything across there. It's a good thing Joe's pretty easy, so we did okay.
Joe, you're going to do the team intros?
Yeah, tonight, the two teams we have going at it tonight are Team Newfoundland and Team Northern Ontario. Newfoundland has the hammer, and so Team Ontario is Northern Ontario skipped by Gary Wise. His third is Darren Curzan. The second is Arnold Rogalski. Should have went and talked to him about that one. We have Mark Beasley at lead, and Team Newfoundland has Lauren Henderson as skip, Neil Power as third. The second stone is Scott Henderson, and the lead is David Daw.
That's a very familiar name over Newfoundland, Daw.
Yeah.
All right, so we, as you said, the Newfoundland has the hammer, so we are playing the 4-rock rule as opposed to the 5-rock rule, and Dodie and Ed and I were talking about that earlier. I think the reason for that, Joe, was that these teams all competed last year when the 4-rock rule was in vogue, so rather than make them change for this event, they maintained that rule.
And it makes sense. That's what they qualified under.
Exactly.
Yeah, and these games, because it's a club curling championship, they're 8 end games, so people notice the difference there. We're not playing 10 what like they'd see in the competitive end of things, but again, in the clubs, that is what we play is 8 end games.
And Joe, there's been some talk too that they may be shortening the bigger spiels to the 8 end game as well. The Grand Slams are all 8 ends, so and I think when you talk about TV coverage and things like that, anything beyond 2 hours and a bit gets a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, well, we're conforming for media, but I know in the competitive play, I love to see the 10 end games, but I can see that happening because our game did start out at 12.
Exactly.
So
can you imagine?
Yeah, here for the night. I've curled with some guys, I tell you. In 8 ends, you were here for the night, so I wouldn't want to.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting a bit of, and I always said whether it's 4-end free 4-guard zone or 5 free guard zone, if the rocks aren't in front of the house, it really doesn't matter. They've got some set up here. Northern Ontario is. And this is something, Joe, that I noticed in the 2 games that I saw on ICE here earlier today. They're having a little bit of difficulty, or I don't know if it's difficulty, adjusting to that nice swing that there is. They're just either not grooming themselves properly or just not hitting the broom with a positive release.
Yeah, well, the rocks here have been sharpened just a week before the event.
Sure.
And when you have a sanded rock like that, it's going to have a little more grab.
Sure.
So you have to have what we call in the game a positive release.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to see is a good handle, and that's like 3.5 to 4 rotations going down the sheet.
Right.
And you have to get out to the broom. If not, it almost looks, anything that's what we would call board weight or hack weight is going to almost look like it's picking going down the ice and almost go sideways. So
and that's exactly what you're explaining there is exactly what happened this afternoon. After someone shot, after what you just described, they were out sweeping as though something had been picked up, and it had not.
So yeah, you guys probably just saw Scott Henderson's rock going into the house. It cleared the front guard, the Yellowstone, by about 3 inches, 4 inches, and here it is. It's halfway between the 2 stones. So we've seen probably 1.5 foot of curl.
Just
in 6 feet.
Yes, just in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, I love playing on ice like that. It is keen. The ice is running around 25 and a half seconds, and but you just have to make sure that you get out to that broom and give it a good positive release.
Now Aaron's been asked to take this and hopefully flip. I don't think they were attempting the double there. They may have been. I'm not sure. I didn't see the call.
Yeah, they're probably pretty comfortable with the outcome. They have 2 rocks out front, something that they can use, and I think the big thing, it would have been tough if he had rolled a little bit under and hooked that rock that's back there. So they'd be okay with that result.
So Lauren Henderson's asking Scott Henderson to remove that, and he did get out there a little bit, but look at the finish on that.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. It
had that guard.
Yeah, he had good board weight in that, and it pulled off the guard. And he was
Yep.
full of the guard, probably halfway down the sheet. So this is the type of finish that we're getting.
Yep.
You can up the weight, and it will slide along fairly straight. I saw the Alberta men's team play earlier today, and they had some guys throwing some BBs and weren't moving much. But anything that was board weight and down, you're seeing lots of nice movement both ways.
Yeah. But I think you described that effect of this not having that positive release and time and time again, and it had no idea. It didn't matter what end of the game it was. We were seeing that consistently.
Yeah, anybody that's starting the game, once you get past a little bit of the technical thing, developing a nice release, and that's a nice handle so that you have a good rotation on the rock is a really big thing.
Yep.
We get into bad habits because most of us, we just curl in club play most of the time. Rocks aren't sharpened, so you can get away with a little bit of what we call a lazy handle. But this is be very close to almost arena ice out there with the way the rocks are sharpened and the way the ice is running.
Yep.
We used to get a kick out of it because back in the day, Russ would love to come up and throw in the sheets here, and he said it was very close to arena ice.
I bumped into Russ at the club this week, and he had just thrown some rocks. I said, "What are you up to?" He said, "I'd love to get back and play a little bit, at the senior level or whatever."
Yeah.
But he's just too busy. He was heading out to. They do a number of camps out west and in parts of the U.S. And then, of course, his broadcasting starts. It may have already started. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
The broadcast season.
Yeah, that's a busy man. I know he's pro now, I believe, at the golf course in Moncton Royal Oaks, and so there's his summer gone, and then he announces and coaches and all the rest through the winter.
Technically, his name's still on real estate.
Yeah, and always. I've had the pleasure of playing Russ a few times, and he's always a gentleman anywhere I've run into him since then.
Yep.
I know he's very competitive, and you can hear him out on the ice. He's into it, but the guy is a complete gentleman.
Yep. All right, so Northern Ontario is shaping this up pretty darn good, Joe.
Yeah, the Newfoundland skip got a little full on his first delivery there and chipped his own rock out. So
he's asking for the mate, which is Neil Power, I believe. Yeah. To try to clean things up so that he'll have some kind of an attempt at the four foot.
Yeah.
He could get lucky and run this back.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to just remove it because they're going to just replace it.
Right, and Neil didn't overthrow that, but he might get. The objective here is to get that out of the way.
So, yeah, that was the mishap of the shot, right?
Yep.
Hitting it a little too direct, left the guard, left the two rocks in. So I know they're talking about coming right around on top of it all, but a little risky. Something out in front of those two rocks would be just fine.
The two rocks that are in the house, though, Joe, did come from this exact direction.
That's the big swing.
Yes, exactly. You get by that long guard on the right-hand side, and away you go.
Yeah, but we also know that if you can't really step up the weight to move them, because then you don't get the curl, right?
No, exactly right.
So we'll see here. Right now, it's advantage team Northern Ontario, but there's still skip rocks to go.
And Newfoundland has the hammer, as you mentioned.
Yeah. He may have to work with it, but we'll see what goes here.
So, all right, the first of the Northern Ontario skips rocks here in the first end.
He'd be more than satisfied to be in front of that. I know they indicated a little bit about coming around it, but anything to hook those. And with this stone, he could actually hook both of those guards.
Well, you know what? He could do it. He could hook them behind as well, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the A shot, but
forcing the run back is not a bad option either.
No, not at all.
Now, they've been playing this turn all in, so Henderson should have a good idea what this is going to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be weight sensitive, though, right?
Yeah, you can see him coming down the sheet and kind of motioning his hand
Yep.
up. So
Yep.
I think he's letting his mate know that he won't have to wait too long for this rock to get from one end to the other.
Boy, they've had, in the short time I've been here, we just got here at noontime today, but they've had some nice crowds downstairs. There's a nice crowd up here, and it's turning out to be a great event.
Yeah, anytime that we've ever had anything like this here in the river, whether it's a men's final, ladies final, senior final, we had the National Postal here. All these things were really, really well attended. So if you're viewing it, terrific, and if you want to come by and see some great curling at the club, even better. Lovely run back.
Beautiful
by
shot
Henderson.
there. Yep.
Yeah, a lovely run back.
Sitting shot rock buried with his rocks as guards. So
Yeah.
couldn't ask for better.
No, we'd have to give him he might get 5 on that one there. 4 for sure. That was a lovely throw.
Interesting how the end can turn around, eh?
Yeah.
Northern Ontario was lying 3 buried, and look at this.
What I did notice on his delivery at that time, here he was throwing more of an upway takeout, but he still got probably 3.5 rotations on the stone.
Right.
So.
All right, so Wise, Skip of Northern Ontario is going to attempt to get to the 4-foot. We haven't played much out on this side, so
we haven't seen a boo or a whisper out here yet, so we'll see what goes on. This will be a learning experience. You hate to throw something in a new turn in your last shot,
yeah.
But because you'd hate to give the other skip a way in for a deuce. So
no indications from the sweepers. They're just keeping it clean at this moment. It should start to move here, though, Joe, if it holds true to the previous games.
Yeah, and it is. They're kind of walking along.
Trying to directional sweep it.
Yeah. Came in really nice. So there he is, shot rock in the back of the 4.
Very nicely done.
Lovely throw. So obviously they tried that a little bit in the practice to get a bit of a read.
Yes, the practice isn't just for exercise, right? It's all about trying to determine what the rocks will do.
And what's really nice to see is sometimes when you see a sheet, we saw the out turn on the other side of the sheet really come into the center. So here now we're seeing the in turn on the other side of the sheet come in well too. So you're seeing close to 5 feet of curl on both sides of the sheet, which is really nice to see.
Ideal.
Yeah.
All right, so the last rock at the end being delivered by Newfoundland skip Henderson in this first end of play. Left-hander at that.
Yeah.
They're just they're going to want to bear down here at some point, Joe. That's going to start to move.
Yeah, you can't let it go too long, but he's by the guard well.
Beautiful weight.
Yeah, really nice weight. He's coming in. I think you're going to see a little tap on that.
Well done.
Yeah, I think he might have got a deuce there.
No, I think he's just the one.
Yeah, still a terrific shot.
Very well done.
Yeah, if he threw that hard enough to tap it through, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have come up enough to make any solid contact.
No, you're right. No.
Yeah.
Very well done. So after one end of play, it's Newfoundland 1, Northern Ontario 0.
You have to say the old skippers, we saw 3 great skip stones there, pulling the boys out of the fire, facing 3, and then coming around and dropping that one in the back of the 4. So
should make for an exciting game.
Yeah. It's always nice to see good shots thrown and good shots made.
I'm very impressed, Joe, with the amount of advertising that the local businesses have here. I see Sobeys over on Ice A and Fundy Line Motel and Restaurant on C, Hubert Williston on D, and
Capers Pub
and Eater on F. And those stay there all year long, right?
Yes, they do.
That is great. And then, of course, there's Sobeys and Kent's, or Canada Trust and Kent on the for the Little Rocks. That is great.
Yeah, so I guess we just can't get enough sheets in here for all the sponsors.
No, and of course in the tournament sponsors too. You got the province of New Brunswick, of course, Curl NB, locally Pizza Delight and Subway, and I was noticing in the brochure here, the
Ford
town,
Auto Group.
Yeah, the town
Ford Auto Group.
Yeah,
they donated 8 vans for the Spiel to get the players back and forth from the hotel. And,
isn't that great?
Yeah. Any big event like this, first of all, you have to have somebody who really wants to make a go of it, someone to kind of ignite the spark. you need a facility, and the facility's second to none here. And then you need a great group of volunteers. And fortunately, here in the Miramichi, we have all three. So, first-class event going on.
And Dodie was mentioning this afternoon too, a shout out to the city of Miramichi, who have been very supportive of this event.
Yep.
And also the local travelers agent, Archway Insurance. So it's all good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. It's we're not a big community, but we sure come together for stuff like this.
Yep.
So you see Newfoundland start the next end, starting out with a rock and play, and Northern Ontario elected to come right around it, just touched
and I think
the guard.
it rubbed it, yes.
Yeah, just touched it, so now they're sitting in the open, and it's in the house, so it's...
And here's one of those stones that I was talking.
Again, we see that stone made about a turn tops coming down the sheet, and where it was just probably good board weight, moved probably a good foot more than they expected.
Now he did get the rock out, but the idea was to stay in play, and that's the wrong side of the inch.
Oh yeah, you'd say there that would be 1 point for that throw if they were marking that, because they really want him to stick around. And the center guard now is just over a little bit more, gives Northern Ontario a little bit more chance to score. That's why when we don't have the hammer, when we throw first rocks, we're trying to get the play congested right into the center of the rings. It just makes it a little harder for the team with the hammer to score a pair.
Yep. And interestingly enough, I mean, the last end there was congestion, all right, but the guys were able to use it to their advantage, which is part of what the game is all about.
Yeah, it's a lovely come around there. Yeah, if you're coming around something, you want to see it a couple of feet or a foot or so in front of the center line,
and they're above the tee line, which is very important as well.
Yeah, seldom do rocks in the back of the rings count, right? No. It's just you really hate to see it, and sometimes you have to show a little patience of play. Some of the games I saw earlier, teams were going in a little quick, and so you have to be a little patient in the play. Like in this end here, like for Northern Ontario to come in, very aggressive play, but sometimes you want to be a little patient too and let things develop just a little more.
Yep.
But they're going right after. I think it's going to make for an exciting game, because so far we've seen lots of rocks in play going both ways.
Absolutely. And he just asked, all he wants is it to freeze on that Newfoundland stone on the center line, so he's happy with that. He doesn't want to make a play on that rock as yet.
So he's trying to establish a nice angle on this rock. He'd really like to come across the face of it, so that if Newfoundland chooses to hit it, that he's not driving it on his own. And he did that lovely.
Very
across
nicely
the stone.
done. Yep.
So just perfect. Couldn't have walked down and set that rock there any nicer. Doesn't leave Newfoundland any choice but to come down and try
to duplicate
the same thing.
Yeah.
And you can see here we're getting pretty close to 6 feet of curl.
Yes, and typically that coming in that side in the two previous games, this is where I was saying they were really misjudging it, but they seem to have the angle on it pretty darn good.
Yeah,
it's going to get a little bit of movement on this, but
little bump, little longer than he wanted to be, but that's terrible. Okay. He opened up his shot. If they do play it, if Northern Ontario does play this, they're going to lose the rock in behind.
Yeah, it's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not comfortable. Here's a nice call. If you can hit that and just roll across.
Absolutely. And wait for the next shot.
Yes.
Be patient, as you were saying.
Patience. Yep. Patience is a big thing in this game. You can't try and do it all at once, and you have to count on everybody. I believe you have to let everybody try and play every shot. Don't save anything for yourself, but then you got to be patient enough to let the game come to you. And here's a lovely looking stone. You got the roll inside.
Very nice.
Great stone. And he made it accessible for himself to use.
Coming from the other side.
Yes, absolutely.
Newfoundland's going to stay to his game.
Yeah,
keep it junked up.
Yeah, this is he's trying to congest that scoring area and make it as hard as possible for Northern Ontario to get more than a single point.
The only issues that he's got to watch out about is that Northern Ontario are not rolling out. They're sticking around. So if you're not the predominant rock anymore, there could be a problem.
Yeah. You've probably noticed that the rocks and the rings are what we call in this game very lively. And so that means that if you do hit a rock with any kind of weight off center, you're going to see a lot of rollouts.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. This is the third game that I've seen, and really noticed that. So the players are going to start getting used to that. And I think that's why we're seeing in this game, you're not seeing the really big weight shots. Everybody's keeping the weight down nice. And nice shot by Newfoundland. That rock is sandwiched in there. Dynamite wouldn't get that thing out there now. So you see they're playing a good shot here. They're willing to sacrifice their
make a play on the top one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're going to sacrifice their shot stone. Possibly. He's not playing this with a lot of weight.
We'll see what kind of weight he ultimately throws at this, because it will move.
So again, we see a good positive release. You can see the handle, so you're not going to get the big swerve that some of them are getting. And they're trying that directional sweeping to get it to curl a little more. They're going to leave both reds now. So with the release that he had with the good positive handle, you didn't see the big curl.
No, and he stuck around.
Yes, the shooter stayed for him. And the rock that they actually hit stayed.
Yes.
So rock wasn't overthrown. That was the actual call.
Yep.
And just when you have that positive handle and good release, you don't get as much swing.
Newfoundland is lying 1 and 2, and Northern Ontario is 3, 4, and 5. So
yeah,
this guard is very crucial.
Yeah, not a very comfortable situation.
And you definitely don't want to be deep with this, I wouldn't think, Joe.
No, you want that up by the other guard. You'd hate to see both red stones out top removed, but if you come deep, you can actually fire that rock in across those two that are in the house, and you could lose the two shot stones for sure.
He's indicating he wants it just outside the house on the center line, so this should finish nicely for them. That's nice weight.
Yeah, you always like to see the brushers down, then you know you're close. And if he can hook that in just a little past the other guard, perfect. Still good. That's a great spot.
Northern Ontario has last rock here, so I'm thinking he's going to want to make a play on those guards.
Yeah, he has a chance to kill both here.
Yep.
And if he does miss the second guard, he's driving that back into those two that are frozen there. You know, there's a lot of good that can happen.
We've got some pretty good weight on this one.
Yeah, we got a little pepper on this one. That's moving though. He's coming right across that. Look at that.
That still went.
That moved. That moved a lot.
Even with that weight.
Yeah, it did. You know, and I don't think he pinched it because you didn't see the skip call it right away.
No, I agree. I agree.
Because usually when you see it a little inside, they pinch the broom, you're going to hear the skip roar right out of his hand, right?
Yeah.
And they probably traveled about 10 or 15 feet before they got the brushes down, right?
And unfortunately for Northern Ontario, there's still two guards on the center line.
Yeah, the guards are double capped now, so you can't promote any of them into the two that are first and second shot. And with the movement we're seeing in the house, it could actually come around the whole works.
And I think Lauren is just asking for it to be even above where we see foundation curling Canada there. I think that was the indication to his mate Power. That's where he wanted it.
Any rock between that rock we see on the right-hand side in the top 12 and the two rocks in the center line, any rock between those two would pretty much shut off the forefoot.
Yep.
But with the line he's taken, he's got to come to the center line.
They're walking with it. They're brushing a little bit now.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah, but has definitely left the back of the forefoot open.
Well, you know what? The last 2 feet of curl, right? Yeah. It made it to the center line almost. So.
Yeah, when we're seeing the U and the R and curl, that would have been the ideal spot to leave the stone.
Yep.
And I think the way it's curling, the only way you'd get there is to come across the center line. Sometimes as curlers we get a little tunnel vision, and we overlook something like that. So if he had thrown maybe the out turn down the other side of the sheet and tried to come across it, he might have got the rock to where he wanted to go.
Or a little more ice, you know, that might have, because his weight wasn't bad.
Sometimes more ice gives you more curl, and then you get, you may get into a spot where you go out so far that it runs a little straighter.
Yes, that's true.
That's why, and it wouldn't have cost him anything to come the other way. I don't think. I think I would have tried the other way.
Now initially, I'm not sure if it's Wheeze or Wise.
Wise, I would say, yeah.
He was indicating perhaps trying to double, but now I think he's going for the draw.
Yeah.
And if it happens to stick out there, they can also get the in off.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this come around call. I think he's going to have to draw on his last rock. So if he can get a little feel here, he'd really like to bury this.
Got nice weight.
Yes, he's excellent weight. He just took a little more ice on that, and he's around that long guard, but
he is, but he's behind the tee line, unfortunately.
He is behind the tee line, the old dreaded tee line.
Yeah, about even being a couple of feet shorter,
Absolutely. So
well, now Lauren Henderson certainly doesn't want to be too deep himself, and you see he's considerably less ice, eh?
Yeah. So he's probably with that kind of weight ice. He's going to throw a little more weight.
And go ahead with the, if he could get a flop on that, that would be an excellent shot.
Ooh. Yeah, but I think to throw that kind of weight, you're going to lose some of the curl. And I know he's brought the broom in, but
we'll see how he.
We'd have to see one of those slow handles to get, I think, that kind of swoop if you're going to play a top third. I think the biggest thing here is just making sure that you make him throw a last rock for one. So
they want to hurry.
I think they can get off it. With the extra weight, it seems to be holding the line. Yeah, let it finish. And now you don't mind rolling out of there at all. Great result. Great
line
result.
3.
Yeah.
Force him to his 1.
Yeah, make him make that draw again.
And it's not always obvious. The fact that you just played it.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps, but it's not a given.
No.
And plus, he's now playing against, I was going to say 4, but I guess it's just 3.
Yeah, he's drawing against 3.
Yep.
You're never comfortable doing that. Rock can pick. A lot of things can happen. So he just wants to get out there, try and give the guys with the brushes about the same weight with the same release. They swept it, but only probably the last 5 or 10 feet from the hog line in. And when you're throwing that rock, you really want to see the guys with the brooms down.
Here they go.
Yeah. They're not killing it.
They're keeping it clean.
Yeah. You can see them jumping her now.
They need to go.
Yeah,
they need to go.
Yeah, really well swept.
Very nice.
The guys didn't go crazy on it.
Very nice.
And you talk about 2 rocks. I think they probably stopped about 2 inches away from each other. One just curled a little more.
So we're all tied up. That's an excellent draw by Northern Ontario skip Wise.
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing Roxon play in the game, and so far we've seen 2 very, very entertaining ends.
Folks, we're broadcasting with Bell Aligned here at the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship in Miramichi at the Miramichi Curling Club. The event will be started on Monday of this week and runs right through with the finals on Saturday. And Joe, I think there's there's no less than 4 draws in each. We're Tuesday today, so Wednesday and Thursday the draws are at 9, 12:30, 4, and 7:30. And then the Friday becomes the tiebreakers if necessary, the quarterfinals and the semifinals, with the finals on Saturday.
Yeah, so a full week of curling here in the Miramichi, and if you don't have a chance to get down to the club to see it, live streaming on Bell is just a great way to. I watched some of the men's finals on that, and I cheat. I take the laptop down and take the old HDMI plug and get that nice 65-inch screen in front of me and sit back and watch the game.
Yeah, no, they've done an excellent job, and they're actually live streaming 2 games every day, every draw,
Yes.
every day. Yeah.
Very, very worthwhile.
All right, so lead Daw with Newfoundland. He's being asked to come to the center line. I don't think Lauren wants him necessarily to be in. And they're sweeping their hearts out. It's, I think it's going to get by that. Yep.
Oh yeah, cleared it well. So
Nicely done.
yeah. So right now, Arnold, we have 2 ends complete in each sheet. And over on sheet A, we have a men's game going on. And they've just finished the second end. They don't have the score posted, but right now it's 2-0 for Saskatchewan over New Brunswick. On sheet B is a ladies' game. We have Newfoundland and Manitoba playing, and they're all tied at 1. Newfoundland has the hammer. On sheet C, it's a men's game. The Northwest Territories are playing BC. BC is the hammer, and the Northwest Territories are up 3-1. On the sheet beside us, D is a ladies' game, and we have Ontario playing the Yukon Territories, and Ontario's up 2-0. And on the far side of us in sheet F is a ladies' game. New Brunswick playing Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick's up 2-0. So the games are all just getting started.
All
and
after 2. Yep.
Everything's close.
Very good. And we're in a 1-1 tie here in the third end on sheet E.
Yeah, these first 2 ends have been as entertaining as games as I've seen so far. Lots of rocks in play. Both teams are going right for it, and I think we're going to be in for a good game.
They've really made use of the free guard zone.
Yes, yes. There's no 8-end game's a little shorter, so these guys aren't mousing around and playing an open first end or 2. They're getting right into the game.
Now Northern Ontario is debating taking, and that is not shot rock. That's the second stone of Newfoundland's, but he's choosing to take that out. He had motion possibly to come behind, but
well, when you have 2 nice rocks like that up in the top of the rings, it's you feel a little uncomfortable. They call that control.
And they're not yours, yeah.
Yeah, that's a control spot, and so mission accomplished.
Wow.
Mission
Nicely
accomplished.
done.
Yeah, threaded it by his rock. His shot's down at the back.
To lie too.
Yeah, and like we talked about the patient game, there's lots of end left. I'm sure Newfoundland's not worried about that rock in the back 8 foot at all. Kind of probably thinking of it as a catcher, maybe later on might help them out.
And right now he knows what the rock just did with the opposing player, so he's asking Henderson to take the top and possibly the back one out as well. He won't, however. He's going to hit and roll out. But,
again, half a rock here just won't do it. You're gone with half a rock.
Yep.
So I wonder if we have maybe the Henderson brothers on there.
I wondered about that myself.
Yeah. Some kind of relation anyway.
Yeah. And Newfoundland is playing out of the St. John's Curling Club, the Remax Center. And Northern Ontario plays out of the Port Arthur Curling Club. And I would think that's in Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
My son played Canadian Junior up there. We were very, very well received, and it was a great week of curling back a few years ago.
Yeah, that is kind of a hotbed. That's where...
yes, I was trying to think of his name myself.
Well, Jacobs is from the Sioux, but...
No, I'm thinking of... anyway, it'll come to us.
Oh, we got all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in a rush.
He made the fantastic shot. And
Hackner is what we're trying to come up with. Hackner and Ricky Lang.
Right on, and they were both there.
Yes.
And they were entertaining the youngsters, I got to tell you.
Oh, yeah. We, a guy I curled with back in the day, met Al Hackner at the Briar in Moncton back in '85, and talked to him, and just on a little handshake and how you doing at the Briar Patch, we were asking about bent brooms, and gee, that fall four brooms showed up, and by the way, guys, just send me the check to this address, and
that right?
And that's what curlers are like. That's just the way it rolls, right?
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
we had a great chat with him that night. Moncton put on a great great event, and I was to the Briar in St. John's, and I'm going again this year in Brandon. But boy, I was truly hoping Moncton would get it for that new event center. So
yeah, I was on the committee for that, and 2020 we tried for 2019, and that we fell short. So we went back for the 2020 bid, and unfortunately, once again, we were just a little shy of what was required, I guess. Moncton is, and you were talking about the Miramichi. Moncton's held some excellent tournaments over the years. I was very much involved in the 2009 Ford Worlds, and that was a great event back in 2009, the 50th anniversary of the event.
Yeah. I have to admit I was at that too, and anytime there's a big event in curling in the Maritimes, you see most curling fans maybe get there for a piece of it or the whole thing, and Moncton at the time in 2009 put on a great show at that men's Worlds. And,
unfortunately, Mr. Martin didn't win, but
no, he had a tough run. He was talking to my brother at the fifth end break, and he gave him a salmon fly. And my brother figured that was the fly of death, because poor Mr. Kevin didn't make another shot after he took that fly.
No, he was a pretty determined individual. He didn't think Scotland could make the shot, and lo and behold, they made it.
Yeah.
Never underestimate your opposition.
So the two Worlds that I've seen, Scotland's won both men's Worlds.
Is that right?
Henry McMillan in St. John's, and David Smith in Moncton. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was a good luck charm for them.
We're getting some nice finish here, Joe.
Oh, look at they made a pistol. Newfoundland made a pistol, and that come around, it just rolled off the rock there, maybe a foot too far.
I'm telling you, this is the and nothing against the two ladies' games that I witnessed on IC, but the men have really taken hold of that curl.
Yeah,
they really and I know everyone can have a different release. So what I'm witnessing right now was what you were talking earlier. I think just more of a positive release.
Yeah, you're going to be able to call it, because each person's stone's going to react the same way, and. Balance is a big thing in curling, but then once you get the balance down and you feel a little comfortable, the biggest thing to work on then is your release. Being consistent with it, and get a good rotation on the rock. And so far we've seen fairly good positive releases on these.
And Neil Powers coming into, I'm telling you, we're seeing some nice curling here, Joe.
Oh, look at this. Just coming right around there, a little tap. He had to move it a little bit.
And shot rock.
And he got shot rock out of that.
We've been playing the forefoot with these guys ever since the game started.
Oh, look at you're seeing one or two go up, and then game's on. With rocks in play, it just makes such an entertaining game.
Yeah.
So we're down to first skip stones, and you can see looking down there, we've got 6 rocks in the house and 2 out front, and 1 long guard, so 3 out front. Both teams are going right after it, and. The rocks, the shots are being made so well. We're seeing one end, one pointer, one pointer, one pointer. So.
Yep. So the first of Northern Ontario skips rocks. Yep. Newfoundland has last rock. So Joe, I would assume he's just trying to replicate that same shot, right?
Yeah, he has no choice.
There's some room. There's some room to move the red. He'd like to hit it on the broom side if he could.
Yeah, and it almost looks like he's just trying to cap the situation here. He's not coming in like he did the other ones. You're right. He did play the rock for the tap.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad shot.
Yeah, he might have got shots.
You look at the overhead here.
On the side of the button.
I think it's very close. Hard. Yeah, that's right. However, it does leave both rocks. That rock that was just thrown by Wise is available.
If he's not shot, though, you have to watch this. If you throw a little weight and you happen to pop that rock on the outside, you might guarantee him. Yes. You might pop it into the center.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's electing to It looks like he's just going to put something up out front here.
Well, that may indicate, Joe, that he thinks he shot rocked, I suppose, or he's committing him to one. But I don't. It's a little early to do that, I think.
Well, he has hammered this end, right?
That's right.
Yeah. No, it's hard to see from our angle looking up at the overhead, but he must be shot stone. Or else he'd be playing the exact same draw he just played and moving his back a touch.
So the idea is that we're thinking that he might be plugging this, right?
Yeah.
He's in the same trajectory that Wise was, although he's a little less weight.
He's out there quite a ways.
Let's finish.
Well,
Finish pretty nice.
Nice finish in there. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to try and take that on, because everything of yours is in behind it, right?
Yeah.
And you could make a double run back, and boys, you'd hate to open that up though, kill a yellow or two, and
this is all the risk for reward, right?
Yeah, right now, you start at the end thinking, okay, we give them one, that's fine. All you'd have to do is shoot that red rock a little too thin, cross the red rock that's in the house a touch, and you may give them a shot at 2 or 3, right? So right now there's no 2 or 3 there. Cap the other side and say, there you go. Take your nickel. I'll get my dime next end. Again, though, it's
interestingly, Joe,
very hard for us to see who shot.
No, for sure. But when you look at the overhead, the yellow that is just behind the tee line, if he could get to that, but anyway, he's coming to this side, but
yeah.
There's nothing obstructing that.
We're throwing another cap shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at this, boys. I'm telling you. Wondering if he can get through that hole.
Well, that's the other. And again, what would be the risk?
Yeah.
So the final shot of this third in for Northern Ontario. And the feeling is, Joe, that we're capping it?
Yeah, yeah. You can see the mate's putting the broom down. He wants something just in front of the red rock that was just thrown.
And I see Henderson, they seem to be questioning who's shot.
And I would be. I really would be. And the thing is, if the back rock and the red and yellow in the back of the 4-foot was a little more exposed, you might be able to come around the horn on that, but I think he's just going to...
Lauren Henderson, he just indicated what I was talking about, because when you look at the overhead,
yeah,
if you can get half a rock, you could roll into the button.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's always easy up here.
Oh, we were talking about curling 100% in the chair behind the glass, and there are a lot of 100% curlers sitting back in here. One guy said, I thought it was a very good line. He said, I had such a bad night, I was even missing behind the glass. So, and what he might not mind trying to do here is just making sure he has the one by just touching his own red rock. But I think he's on the front already.
No, for sure.
Yeah, he was inside
his
the
release.
stick.
It didn't look convincing.
Yeah,
he wasn't sure on that.
Yeah. He didn't come out anywhere near the stick.
No.
Yeah. So we're going to.
So they are going to measure.
Yeah.
I was saying to someone earlier, the yellow rocks on the screen have a different. The resonance or something doesn't, so it's not easy to tell.
Yeah. When I played, for some reason or other, I always liked using the yellow stones.
Is that right?
Yeah, and someone said, why? And I said, well, I just see the red handles down at the other end so much better. So I always liked using yellow. And to me, it was just a visual thing.
Yeah.
I like throwing at those red ones.
So we're just taking time now for the measurement to occur here in the third in. They're discussing how much of the traveler's umbrella they can see, I think.
Yes. It's going to be just by a spoke one way or the other. That's for sure, just by the rib.
And I don't know if we mentioned, Joe, but the hammer to start off play was determined by the throat of the button. So Newfoundland won that.
I actually noticed, and both teams were well in the forefoot. Northern Ontario was just back button, and Newfoundland was just top button. So they had two great throws. So these guys started out with the draw weight, and it seems like they haven't lost it. We always have a little saying, you can't throw dry, you can't skip.
A lot of truth in that.
Yeah, and you just can't be afraid to do it. And both these guys seem to have no fear when it comes to that.
And you'll notice that they went left to right, and that is always the way they measure, regardless of where the rocks are. You always start with and go clockwise.
It's yellow.
There you go. So one yellow in the third end.
Yeah. So for sure, Lauren was trying to come around that and probably just touch his own rock. The slightest of touches would have for sure given him the point.
All right, and Wise is asking his lead of David Daw. I believe he indicated to come into the rings. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I think that's Mark Beasley. I think David's on Newfoundland, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Absolutely.
I just thought if someone's watching,
yeah, absolutely.
Some of Mark's family is watching.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So that is what he indicated. He did want it in the rings.
Yeah. Well, he just feels he's up one, and so he's going to try and run with that little bit of a control point. And Lawrence having nothing of that, he says, "Okay, let's get a corner guard up here."
And that rock being just in the 8 foot is actually well positioned as well. So
yeah, anything that's in the rings and is up in front of the center line, the last thing you'd want and would be, I wouldn't even like it on the button, right? Top 4 foot, top 8 foot, fine.
So here, David Daw is
the other David Daw
complimenting his Skip's request.
Yeah,
Tim Hortons Cup.
Right in the Tim Hortons Cup. Great spot for a corner guard. And we've got some pretty nice movement from the center line out. We're getting 5.5 feet one way, and so that rock curled a good 3 feet, maybe 3.5, and stopped, only about 6 feet over the hog line. So if you follow that continuation of curl, you're probably going to get 5 feet or so going into the house.
Well, and Wise was just off the 8 foot, probably about 8.5 feet, and look at that.
Yeah, they're still getting that 5.5 feet.
What a nice finish.
Yeah, he wants the rock to cross the center line, cover shot stone.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, look at that, bang, right in front.
And of course, we are playing the 4 rock rules, so those 2 rocks, those 2 guards cannot be removed just as yet.
It's really improved the game, having this 3 guard zone. For a while there, the game was reduced to trying to get a point and then just whacking the daylights out of everything. And we saw lots of 2-1, 3-1 games, so it's brought the finesse part of the game back into it.
Absolutely.
And he got a touch, but still curled enough to give it a little tap. So just the smallest of touches. The guys had to just jump on that a little sooner, because on this ice, the way it moves, once it starts to go, it's gone.
And I think the sweeper's hesitation was, you saw that there was a roll, so obviously they knew there was enough weight. It was all about line.
A little heavy, yeah. And good communication sometimes back and forth. You can say we're long, and then you can, that's letting the skip know, and the skip roars at you. You sweep it anyway. Now you sweep for line, then you know you got to go.
Aaron's been requested to remove the Newfoundland stone and possibly get a flop. They're not touching it.
Yeah. When you bring the weight up and you have that good positive handle, you're not seeing much movement there.
No.
So we're seeing setting right up for a half rock double, and if you get that half rock double, you're tucked right behind the center guard.
So I think he's indicating board weight.
Yeah. Everybody has a little different signal, but I know when we want a board, we just did that kind of indication.
And that looks a little hot. Coming now. Not enough to get the...
No, but he's going to get a little tuck inside. And not a bad place, sitting right on top of it.
Yep. So back to the long guards.
Yeah.
There again, he's just about 8 foot. We'll see where this one ends up.
Yeah, the last time he was out there, the rock did cross center. He's looking for a little longer guard.
So it should be lighter. The boys are not touching it.
No.
Here it comes. Here we go.
Yeah, you're always a little more relieved as a shooter when you see those brooms come down. Then you say, okay, the boys.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And he would like that to cross.
Very nice.
And that's very nice.
Yeah, he covered the side of the stone where he wanted to cover.
And that's almost taking away that red bump.
Yeah.
I don't know that it quite did it, but
I think it did because when we're going to bump that situation, you got to throw a little bit of weight, right?
So Newfoundland has hammer here, so it might be time to do some house cleaning.
Yeah, they're going to. Lauren wants to make sure that he has something for himself. I know the 4-foot's still open, but that rock out by the Tim Hortons, even though it was a great corner guard, is pretty close to cutting off the 4-foot draw on that side.
Oh, wow.
He got a lot of things moving. Saved his rock that was frozen. Excellent outcome. Excellent outcome. He's tucked behind the corner guard on that side. Couldn't have turned out any better for him.
That's where all those rocks in play. One never knows, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a shot you call. That's the shot you get.
Yeah, and the good thing about that rock was wasn't overthrown.
No.
If he overthrows that, he loses both red shots. Both red rocks are gone.
Yeah, for the making the contact on that run back and to stick around, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we find that a lot in junior curling. The juniors really like to jack her up and let her go. And, once you learn a little more feel of the game, this rock is totally gone. It's just taken right off. They were trying to come around the rock to come in front of you. You almost wonder if that wasn't a pick situation.
That's a missed opportunity, or it might get back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
If the release wasn't there.
Yeah. The only reason I think you saw a pick there was didn't have much handle and then it ended with a lot of handle. So when you sweep in curling, you got to make sure that you finish away from the broom, not to leave any debris on the ice. I don't think that was the situation here because they didn't have the brooms down.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you went from a rock that had a fairly slow handle to it had a big handle. Now a sharp rock can look like a pick because if you throw a slow handle, you'll gather a little bit of frost and ice into the stone, and then it'll just go sideways and take the weight right off if it looks like a pick.
So Neil Powers being asked to take the shot rock out, and they're just keeping it clean.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Nice, easy weight.
Yeah, and good stick-around weight. Going to force Gary Wise's hand to play this stone with 2 in the rings. And again, we're seeing just another very entertaining end. Lots of rocks in play, lots of shots made.
Just a little more weight. However, it's sticking around well.
Yeah, he hit that pretty thick.
Darren Zirkin. So this is the final rock of the mates from Newfoundland, Neil Power. Now we've moved the broom a little bit because the rock did move itself. So we'll see how it reacts a little further to the outside.
Yeah, two little different ways to play. Northern Ontario tightened up the ice and threw a ton, and these guys are just taking a little bit more and bringing the weight down a touch. And and mission accomplished. Hit that thick enough that he's not going to roll out.
And that's going to make the difference, you know, in a tight game.
Yeah, probably didn't care for where he rolled because he's kind of given a little bit of backing behind that corner guard.
Yeah.
So he can come around the corner guard, or if he's a little full or a little long, he comes to the back stone. So
Zirkin was just saying with Wise that they'd like it probably 8 foot behind the guards.
Yeah.
There's no sense coming anywhere near that red stone. You want to be above the tee line for sure and as buried as much as you can.
Oh yeah. They can. The nice thing with the way the ice is finishing is they can overbury those 2 yellow stones that are frozen out in front. Because if you tucked one halfway behind them, it would just be an automatic whack double. So if you can bury...
Zirkin, the mate, was just suggesting maybe going after that rock, but I think the team kind of returned to the previous play as called.
Yeah, well, he's had such nice draw weight. Play to the back stone. You might feel it's a little safer, but I think he kind of feels that if I do that, I'm giving up a 2.
The boys jumped on that. That's certainly running straighter, but again, weight's the issue here.
Yeah, much more positive release than what the Zirkin's, the mate, on his first rock through. So whether he wanted to play that or not, he's got the got the draw to it.
Yep. It's all about that weight.
Yeah. So the guys won't mind chipping this out, and they don't care to lose. They don't mind losing the back one. They get a little turn inside and duck behind the cover, and not a whole lot behind the cover. Just a hit it and just a little flop.
He's also indicating maybe sitting on that as well. So we'll see. And I think maybe that's what he's gone with.
Yeah. He's going with the freeze. And this rock is past the run back there, so I don't know. A freeze, and then it's going to be some hard to get your deuce.
Yeah, but it might take the deuce off the table, and I think that's what.
Yeah, Newfoundland is playing for a deuce this end, though, and.
That should come in very nicely here.
Yeah, it's Wise's was along the same track, and they just got to make sure that they get it right back to the stone.
I was surprised they weren't brushing that.
Yeah, they kind of were sitting on their laurels a little bit coming down there.
Now Wise can actually tap that back lie to and make Henderson try to get his deuce.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move it very far.
No, in fact, if he doesn't move it far, it becomes a backer for him, right?
Yeah, so he'd almost just want to move this to just bite in the back, 12 foot.
Yep.
And then if he freezes right on it, so be it. Corner freeze would be fine, so long as he's not driving it back on his own.
So the last of Northern Ontario skips rocks. Gary Wise, the sweepers, they jumped on that. They're
kind of off and on.
Yep, which is always a good sign.
Oh, you like to see that.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. They need to be there, though.
Yes, they do.
And they'll hold it. Almost over curled on them.
Yes.
And shot.
Very nice shot.
So,
Boys, now if you could throw the BB and hit about an eighth of that thing or a quarter of that thing, a lot of good things could happen because you get a little drag coming back.
Well, again, risk for reward.
Yeah, but I don't think that's Lauren's game.
No. What's the potential? What would be the worst outcome?
Worst outcome here, you could give up just the one.
So
the middle rock isn't, the yellow rock in behind is always going to go further than the middle rock. So probably half the yellow rock, or a little less than half the yellow rock, kills both yellows, and probably gives you a 3. because you count your back one in the 12, the one over on the other side of the 12.
Depending on what you're throwing. I don't know if the shooter would stick around, but...
No, you lose the shooter. Yep. You absolutely lose the shooter, but you want to hit a little less than half of that yellow rock on the top.
I certainly think it's worth it. I mean, here we are, the fourth end, 8-end game. Take your opportunities as they present themselves.
It would break a string of ones, and yeah, I think he feels it's worth the while. If he does play the draw or the little light tap, he's only playing for one.
All right, the last rock being thrown by Lauren Henderson here in the fourth end.
The boys are getting on her. He wants to hit about half of this.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
just got the one. Had to hit it just a little thinner.
Yeah. The first two he made contact stuck around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be taking a fourth end break and return in
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
One team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot. We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own fouls. When we win, we celebrate with modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another. One team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously.
Welcome back, folks, to 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship being held here at the Miramichi Curling Club in Miramichi, New Brunswick. Arnold Malley here with Joe
Hawks.
Thanks, Joe. We're just getting back to play here in the fifth end.
It's been a very, very entertaining game, Arnold, so far.
Lots of rocks in play, Joe, like you say.
Yeah, just what we like to see. Both teams are going after it every end. We've seen a little, what we call a switch of the hammer. Newfoundland started with the hammer and gave up a very tight steal of 1 1/3, but it's been back and forth. And
absolutely.
And some really stellar shooting by both skips.
Joe, maybe we'll give an update on Ice A. We've got the men, New Brunswick over Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan leading 7-zip. New Brunswick seems to be having a little bit of trouble getting on the scoreboard there.
Yeah. I was talking to Trevor Hansen in the break, and he said all we're doing is dirtying the ice out there. Yeah. So.
And then on sheet B, we the ladies, Newfoundland against Manitoba, with Newfoundland leading 2-1, and they're in their fifth end. On Ice C,
BC and Northwest Territories.
Right. They're all tied up 4-4. They're in the fifth. Everyone's in the fifth now. And here in the sheet next to us, Ice D, Northwest Territories against Ontario, and that's the ladies, and they're all tied up at 2.
I think that's Yukon in that one.
You're right.
Yeah.
And on Ice F, PI over New Brunswick. PI stole the 3 in the fourth end, so they're leading New Brunswick 5-2 after 4.
Yeah.
And in our game, as we said, 2-2 with game on.
Yeah, it's like ladies and men's are both out here, so 3 ladies and 3 men's games going on, the same as this afternoon. And on our sheet, right now you have to say advantage Northern Ontario. They have 1 on the button, and they're going to get a chance to seal her off by putting one maybe top 8, top 4 right dead in front of it. But
and they sure know this side of the ice, Joe.
Yes, they do. And both teams are going right for it. You're seeing lots of nice shots made.
We'll see some nice finish right here.
Yeah, and both teams very patient. It shows a lot of faith in the skip. Both the team and the skip himself and his rock throwing, and they're not afraid to go after it a fair bit. And it makes it great for you, the viewer, to see shots like this in a game like this.
So Scott Anderson is being asked to replicate what was just thrown by Northern Ontario. Lauren seemed to indicate that he may have been out a little bit, but however, the way the rock's coming, it seems like he's going to be bang on.
Yeah. Definitely lots of curl, and the guys are working it well. I think you're going to see a cross in there. Really moves. Really comes across. Well placed for Stone.
Yep. We're getting that button jammed again.
Yeah. When you don't have the hammer, boys, you just want to concentrate those rocks dead in the middle, and it makes it so hard for a team to count more than 1.
And there's really only 1 rock, 1 guard out there, but they really make use of it.
This end, yeah.
You know, really, it's not like there's 3 or 4 out there.
Yeah, the only way they're going to get any more is start piling them up on top of each other. And again, like the rock looks, this one might be a little warmer because he's out there quite a little ways, and it's just not coming in like the other rocks.
It speeds through the curl, Joe.
Yeah,
I think that's
just a little warmer, a little hot.
Oh yeah, he's back line. He's out actually. So.
Yeah, right through the back line.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot after. You see that a lot after a break, a 5-minute break. They clean the ice. A lot of people think they speed it up, and some people feel that in the breaks and everything goes quiet out in the sheet, that it gets a little colder. But
with the use of the chamois, sometimes.
It just kind of buffs it, and I've seen it myself. I've seen rocks where we thought were just terrific and had them just slide right along on us. So.
Well-positioned rock by Henderson.
Yeah.
Starting to get that button area jammed again.
Yeah, they've got little control of the top of the floor, but Northern Ontario has no problem just coming off that outside stone, flopping in a little.
Aaron Rogalski here is being asked to make a play on the red on the tee line.
And they're looking at that.
Gary's indicating it'll flop, so.
He looks like he's almost feeling that if we throw the right weight here, we might be able to get both reds moving a little bit.
The directional sweeping to try to make that curl a little bit. And you know what? I think it's working.
Yeah.
A little bad break there.
Yeah. That was the risk of playing that shot. We talked a little bit about risk reward, and again.
And that seemed a little hot, Joe. Yeah. Really for.
But yeah, I don't know if you noticed you seen the skip tap his top shoulder.
Yeah.
And so for me, that means okay, we're not playing board or anything now. We're starting to play an upweight shot.
Okay.
And anytime.
Well, he certainly was.
Yeah, yeah. So he topped it. That was the weight he called for.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you have, you only probably had about 2 or 3 inches of air there. So to get a kick over like he wanted, you have to come some close to that guard with that kind of weight.
Yes.
And to get that kind of kick, you kind of need that kind of weight. So the two teams play a little bit of a different game. Newfoundland's a little softer play.
Which Neil Power's doing right now.
Yeah, and the guys from Northern Ontario, they tend to throw a little bit more weight.
Just looking to move that off the forefoot.
Yeah, you're seeing the great curl here with the quiet weight. Might have overswept that a little bit. I think they could have got a little inside flop in that if they had just.
I don't know if they wanted it, Joe, though, because this way here the button is blocked. So not a bad result.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
but I think
the damage is
the double's there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's why I would have wanted to flop.
Yeah. I don't know if the double's there and saving the yellow.
Yeah, but where both rocks are where they are, you have to move one of them here. You don't want to give up too much control of the front of that forefoot.
Nate Zirkin is being asked
for
the takeout.
Yeah, they've decided to bring the weight down here too.
Just from the broom, right?
Yeah, that kind of ice, he's not going to throw a BB here. It's going to be a little more controlled weight.
Trying to get that to move, but it's moved now.
Yeah, they've. See, and there's your
well
double.
Done.
There's your double. And
to lie 3.
Yeah, so that's why they wanted to.
Well done.
The flop would have taken that out of there. That's the only thing, eh? It's easy to, like we say, it's something easy to call from up here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so Lauren is asking for Neil Power to probably make the double here and make a couple of them go away.
Yeah.
This is one of those ends where it can change pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, just this one's on the knife's edge for sure. And Neil's probably wondering, well, what are we doing on this side of the sheet? Most of the game seems to be played on the intern, coming both ways.
He did not have a good release on that.
Yeah, he's going to cross the rock for sure, but he might get a little lucky. Yeah,
he did.
He's moved the rocks out a bit. I still think Ontario's laying 2, though.
Yeah, judging by the overhead, certainly. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, chance to come in and lay 3 again.
Zirkin, they've owned this part of the both teams actually.
Yeah.
Coming in from this direction.
Now they haven't put a brush down to this at all, so a ton of room by the guard, and it looks like they're going to slide deep into the house here.
Well, he's got a backer, but still.
Doesn't want to be back there though. He's left the top of the forefoot for Lauren, and I think you're going to see Lauren take it. They've looked at a double.
It's tempting, isn't it? I mean,
I'd be awful tempted though. You know, sometimes you don't want to go to the back, but where there's lane 3, I would be more
Timeout's
than
being
comfortable
called.
coming to that back rock and sitting dead right on it. So now we have it. Lawrence called a timeout. The boys want to talk this one over. A couple of choices here. You can come off the wide one and make a double.
Yeah, Northern Ontario's line 3.
Yeah, and you get a little bit uncomfortable with that many rocks left around. So the double would be a nice shot. You're still giving a shot to come right around and lay 2.
What's tempting here too, though, Joe, is that as much as Northern Ontario's line 3, Newfoundland is 4, 5, and 6. So you make a double on this, and you're lying a bundle.
Well, they're still lying 1 with a chance to lay 2 again, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So so it's an awful chance to give up a pair here. And it's been such a tight game, I suppose. When you play if you did play the freeze back to it, then now you're looking at a 3.
So we'll see. I mean, that ice could be for the takeout, or it could be for the draw to the back. So we'll see what.
It's got to be a takeout because it's got the broom back by the rock.
There you go.
And boy, that's going to curl.
They better get on
boys.
Hasn't got a chance.
That's really it. Now he's playing, I think, the center rock, maybe? No, he just went right through the hole. That was 6-1, half a dozen of another, right?
That's, again, one of those, when we talk about commitment.
Yeah. A little inside.
Commit to the shot.
Yeah, and to me, from what we've seen in the game, I would say that the free shot would have been definitely more Lauren's strength.
Yes.
From what we've seen from this game, I don't see the guy play. I've never seen him play before, but in this game, boys, he's had draw weight right in his old back pocket.
Yep. See, I'm not sure why they would want to come that way. They've known the trajectory. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's possible. It's just they've had a lot of success over here.
So if I was playing, I would actually probably like to come that way, and I'd like to leave the rock mostly exposed. And then if Lauren comes around the other way and plunks him on the 4-foot, you have something you can run into it.
So Gary Weiss is
in the front. Again, these guys play more of a positive hand, so you can see their rocks seem to stay. And I think once again we're going deep here.
oh, right in the button.
Look at that, right on the pin. 2 points in Crokinole. You're supposed to be allowed to just take that off and take your 2 points.
Once upon a time, they'd give you a turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're going to see Lauren try to put a little epoxy on this one and stick it right to the nose of that and say, okay, there's your one.
Well played in just the same. There was opportunities early on, and I think Gary did what he had to do.
Yeah, Lauren's definitely not out of this. He has to make a great shot to pull the boys through this one. You can't see any rubbing.
So last rock of the 5th end. He didn't look comfortable coming out on that, Joe.
Yeah, he kind of came out in a little bit of a 3-point stance and kind of slung his rock that time.
Now, having said that, he seems like he's got nice weight.
Yeah, I think he's going to be coming back to number 2 here in the back of the house.
Or
long,
number 3.
and he rolled off it. So
wow.
Right now they're laying 3.
Just didn't look comfortable in that release.
No, that was a good pickup. He didn't have the rock quite out in front of himself, and that was a good pickup, Arnold, for sure.
So what do we think here?
I think you're going to see him play a heavy draw and try and tap that through for a big 5. Changes the water on the beans, so as they like to say sometimes, right?
It certainly isn't indicative of how the game's been played so far.
No. There's a game like that last night. I think it was Alberta and Saskatchewan. I think I can tell you for sure here. No. Alberta and Northern Ontario, maybe. Anyway, they were tied 4-4 going into the last end, and they gave up 6.
Oh.
So you know, without
Yeah.
hammer. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just one of those really well played game. You know, someone stepped in the bananas peel, and
Yeah.
you know they're probably going for the steal all out.
Yep. Yep.
When something like that happens, it can be a little embarrassing.
Can
but
bite you. Yep.
the score does not indicate the play, and in this game for sure, the score is not. If this happens here, it hasn't indicated the play. So the guys are on it.
They're
hard.
brushing that hard.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it out. They know they're going to get late finish. They have to get by the rock and the button.
No.
It looks like mission accomplished, but I don't
No.
think they're going to move it. No.
So they got 2 for sure. Actually,
Three.
probably 3 for
Three
sure,
for
right?
sure. That one's definitely out counting the back one. So it's between those two. That one's not counting.
Well, if you stand over for more than 3 seconds, you might as well pull the stick out.
Yeah. So 3 for sure.
Geez, they removed that one on the right-hand side, Joe. I
Yeah, that
thought
was-
that might have been part of the measurement.
No, I was pretty sure that was
That was
definitely
gone?
Yeah, that was in part of the play. But this is more than worthwhile. And Northern Ontario's won the first one, and I think they might have won the second too. So we'll see. Though.
And umpire
And, yeah,
Lawrence
it is yellow.
Forbes is out there measuring, so
Yeah, it is yellow. So a big 4-ender.
kind of breaks it wide open. Eh?
Yes, a game that was played so tight to the vest, and she just popped there and.
And really, not a whole lot of missed shots.
No.
There were some
A little rub
wick
one way
and
and the
wax,
other.
and yeah.
Yeah, but when the big guy misses his last 2, you're in trouble.
Yep. And in both of those shots, deliveries, he didn't look comfortable.
No,
I mean,
yeah, it was one of those 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And the first one didn't look like he committed to what he was playing, and got in a ton of trouble. And then in his last shot, didn't seem to come out of the hack well.
yeah, okay. I was hoping he wasn't calling a guard with a 4-point lead.
I think that's why he ran out and helped them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a deflator, but the boys have to regroup here. Newfoundland needs to score a deuce here and get back in this.
Yeah, a deuce would be big this end. So they really have to run for it. Nobody wants to get, pounded right out of the game right away, but when you give up an end like that, you really have to go after it.
I mean, we're talking the 5th end. There's still 3 ends left, but yeah, it still hurts.
Oh, yeah. And Northern Ontario is just going to drop another one in the house. You can see, usually they'll play this one in 2 ways. They seem to just think, okay, we're going to put 2 in and make you have to play them later.
Yeah, you're going to have to deal with them at some time, right?
Yeah, you're going to see another guard probably go up, and you're going to see this team who seems to really like throwing takeout, throw some takeouts.
Well, pretty well executed as requested.
Yeah, 2 well thrown draws. Just what you'd want from Mark. And it looks like it's drawn Lauren into the house. So.
And I think that's what he was debating, putting another corner guard, and he said, how about let's just play it, tap it back to the tee line.
Yeah.
Keep it in play.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to take either one of these yellows out. And I think now that you're going to see the corner guard gone.
right?
With that gone now, you're going to, rather than bother with the corner guards, you'll take the rock out. If there's
Actually, he'd be happy to take both of them out.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't mind killing them both here.
Yep.
So there you go, it's gone, and
Nice. Did well to keep the shooter and didn't hurt the back one.
yeah, didn't disturb shot rock. So now you're looking at another decision here, and they're going to just try and freeze on shot rock this time.
And we've seen plays coming from this side. This will curl a bunch as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that he got the stick on that, Joe.
Yeah, you don't think got out to it?
No.
Yeah.
We'll see where it ends up. But
well, when they were getting out to that, the rock was just coming across the center line by about 2 or 3 inches. So if you see more clearance between the center line and that, then you know he definitely didn't go out to it. And you're dead right. He's come across the center line by a couple of feet.
Beautiful weight. You know.
Oh, perfect. But yeah.
And actually, where it ended up, it isn't terrible either. It's
No,
just,
no. It just shows you just the way everything comes in there, and if you cut things at all, it's gone. And here we're seeing a big weight takeout.
And this is where it moves, even with that weight.
He was a little tight because I'm dead behind this shot.
There you go.
And yeah, you can see him shrugging and saying, "Geez, I chucked that for you," but it was there right out of his hand. So.
And you gotta believe that if you gotta know that you're inside.
Oh yeah.
Oftentimes when I play with our guys, and I'll be the first one to say it. Listen, guys, I missed the broom on that.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't need no one to tell me.
Yeah. I was just kind of put my hand up and touch myself, say my fault, sorry. I had one guy used to always ask me, did I hit the broom on that? Did I hit the broom on that? And he said to me one day, he said, "You never tell me I hit the broom." I said, "Well, you never ask me when you make a shot."
So well executed for Newfoundland.
Yeah, really nice draw around that guard. Lots of room for a second rock to come in. And great chance now for the deuce.
Which is exactly what we were saying. They definitely need that to get back into this game.
Oh, for sure.
Anytime a forehander scored, doesn't matter how long the game is.
It's deflating for the team, so a deuce would be a nice little victory. Pick up the confidence a little bit.
They're going to have one less to work with, though, however, after this shot.
Yes. To be expected.
Yep.
So now you have one around the corner guard. You have a nice little pocket to throw a second rock into. And if you can drop a rock right between those, frozen in between those, it takes 2 shots to get rid of it.
Well, Neil was at this end, so he and Henderson discussed it. I think they're just playing sit right in the pocket.
Yeah, I see now. I don't care for that play. You're losing some of your protection. I think you just cozy one right in there between the two of them. You know the ice. You've seen the rock come down there. And it looks like he's playing a tap.
Geez, it sure is, because that's not much ice.
Yeah, because he actually touched the
back of the ring?
Yeah, the second shot rock he touched and indicated just to push it back through the 12. That's what we talk about, patience. Sometimes even a little later in the end, you have to be a little patient. And a little freeze in there would dynamite wouldn't have got it out. So.
And this is going to move on him.
Yeah, and the weight seems to be closer to a top weight. And
he was an in-between again, Joe.
And he's definitely tight on the stick there.
There's that commitment, you know. What is it that we're doing? Are we taking out, or are we tapping, or are we? Now, end result, not terrible. I mean.
Yeah, but the play actually, freezing one in there, you're playing for a 3. You know, and in this play here, you're playing for a 2, and you see the indication from Gary, he's actually saying, let's just take a run at this. Maybe we can get the double.
Yeah.
And it'd be about a half rock double.
Don't know if they're.
Yeah, he's pretty
He's
close
pretty
to that.
close
He's
as
pretty
well.
close. Ooh, wow. Just a little thicker, just a little overswept. They swept that and
got rid of everything else.
Yeah,
So.
they swept it right from the get-go, just passed by the back side of the rock.
And he had big time weight on that.
Oh yeah, that was coming. That was coming, let me tell you. So now we're seeing a very offensive play coming around the corner there for the second time. And you know you're going to see Gary either make a play on this or split the rings. So game on. It's funny we see a tap on the last shot, and now we're seeing this here. So
Interesting.
yes.
So just a guard in the house. Actually, he's going to be number 3, which is fine. Got to get by that guard,
Yeah,
though.
you got to get by the guard, boys.
Oh yeah, they're big.
Yeah, they're on it now. If you don't want to be deep, give Gary a chance to come with the 2 rocks. But they knew they had to get up on it.
Yeah, any lighter, and they would have been on that guard.
Yeah,
in that situation.
Oh, it was moving.
I
big
thought
time.
he was a little stingy with the room, personally.
Yeah, he actually Neil actually asked Lauren for a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
because
that's-
it was really tight.
Okay, so, Gary Weiss is certainly in command here. He just gets that back to either one of those, and there's not much Newfoundland's going to be able to do.
He doesn't even have to be back there. All it has to be a second shot. So I think you can get.
Well, except that, yes, yeah.
You can get a little bit too locked on, and don't make it hard to think. Just think, draw a second shot. If you happen to come around and lay on them, perfect, right?
You don't want to leave an opportunity for a double, though.
That's right. That's right.
See, now that broom is similar. We'll see where it ends up.
But Lauren's rock was on the center line right at release. This rock was the full width of the other side of center line.
Right on.
Release.
And look at it, here it comes now.
So you're talking about at least a foot more out with the ice, and we can see by the way the rock's coming in the house, a foot more. So nestled in there, kind of nice.
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
now, and where do you go?
Yeah.
I mean, you could play the shot rock and roll to there.
I think the best you could do is part way there.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on top.
Yeah.
Just get over in that action.
Roll to that side of the 4 foot. Problem is you're going to be your shot's going to be a little deeper, and then he hits and rolls back. It's deeper again. Then there's absolutely nothing you can do but take your own. Yeah.
And I mean, all said and done, you definitely got to take one here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that come around shot that late in the end, if you're going to run for the 3, would have been the freeze on the 2 rocks earlier. I think it's you're in mate's last rock, and just too easy. Gary's definitely had draw weight for the night. And just too easy to get a really good spread on first and second shot. So we're playing shot stone.
And the shot wasn't of the one you're talking. The shot wasn't made though. It over curled on him, but still, the call was in your mind.
Yeah,
maybe not the right call.
Yeah. So he did room in for the tap.
Yeah.
And when you have 2 rocks like that, if you nestle in between them, there's just so you have one tucked around the corner, one nestled in a really nice spot. You can whack that anywhere, and both rocks go, so that you have that advantage later in the end. And really, down 4, that was the play for 3.
Okay, they haven't put a brush to this, Joe. It needs to move a bit.
Yeah, that's coming right across the base of the rock.
So he locks it on. Interesting, because that was maybe he might have been a little thick on that, because boy, that wasn't big weight.
No, probably the strongest throw we've seen Lauren make though tonight. Like as far as weight goes,
okay.
the heaviest. Yeah, he threw that up for himself.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's just it stayed right there.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen that happens with some of the Northern Ontario stones too. When they bring the weight up, you don't see as much curl.
We'll see how Gary's reacts here, and this is just about the same spot. Right?
Yeah,
he's a little less weight.
He's cut the broom down
yes.
just a touch, but now he has a little bit more of a positive release, and he tends to drive at the broom pretty hard, right?
Well, you know what? That didn't move much either.
No, a little more weight, a little positive release, and now Lauren's stuck with having to take his one.
We have a finished game over on Ice A, Manitoba or New Brunswick and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan are the victors there, 10-2 over New Brunswick.
Yeah, Trevor got on the board, but that was about it. So.
Yeah. No, it just wasn't feeling right. You could tell that they just couldn't get their mojo going.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
All right, so final rock of the sixth end here in our featured game, Newfoundland over Northern Ontario, and Lauren Henderson delivering the last rock.
He has to come up some. He's going to roll the wrong way. Now we're going to take a little look at that. I think he's all right. We'll have to take a little look at her over.
I think so too.
Yeah, he's okay. So.
But almost not.
Yeah. Newfoundland.
So
Newfoundland
they score
takes
one
there.
So maybe an update, Joe, on Ice B. We've got Newfoundland and Manitoba
in the ladies,
and it's 5-3 Manitoba, and they're playing the seventh end.
Yeah.
I see BC and Northwest Territories.
Yep.
BC ahead 5-4, and they're in the. Well, actually, the sixth end isn't put up, so.
Yeah, we haven't seen.
But they are playing the seventh.
Yeah, the guy's got the scores in his hand, so we'll be able to give you an update on that soon.
And then next to us here, I can't.
Yukon and Ontario.
Right on, ladies.
6-2, I think, for Ontario.
Correct. And over on Ice F, we got PI and New Brunswick. New Brunswick got 2 back, so 5-4 PI, and they're in the sixth end.
Yeah, New Brunswick's laying 1 there. Lots of rocks in play on that sheet.
Yes. All right, to start things off, we've got Mr. Daw being requested to put a center guard, which he's accomplished.
Yeah, they certainly do. They have that guard and draw weight down, and Gary's not batting an eye, boys. He's going right after it.
He wants
that behind it again. Yeah.
That button's his friend, or has been.
Yeah. They've been there the whole time.
So Mark Beasley delivering the first stone for Team Ontario. And it's a well-rehearsed shot.
Yeah. There must be a little path one right there now. Little deeper than he wanted to be.
Yeah. But I'm sure that'll still be ignored by Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, he's playing to the second guard. So they need to steal 3 points in the next 2 innings to make this go into an extra. So it's going to be all hands to the pump, and the boys are just going to play her solid.
All right. That's a nice long guard.
Yeah, second guard up. That long guard tight to the center line is a tough guard to make.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have an overlap now, so Northern Ontario would like to come right around that. It would be double guarded offset guards and right to the top of the 4. And we've learned on this sheet that the top of the 8 foot, you can still vary around it, so he probably wants us in the top 4.
So Mark Beasley, the second shot here as lead. Top of the 4 foot is what Gary's indicating. And the boys are just keeping her clean. Look at that. Very nice.
Yeah, Mark couldn't have walked that down any nicer, and he put it right where the skip's broom was.
Yep, isn't that great?
Yeah, nice to see, nice to see.
So now, game on.
I know you were announcing with Dodie Dixon earlier today, and Dodie tells me a good story about curling one time, and he was yelling to the boys, "How's the weight?" And one of the guys yelled back to him, "We're still running." So.
We've got another game finished. Looks like Ontario over Yukon.
Yeah.
Are the victors there.
And 9-2. They stole 3 after they took 3. Stole 3 twice. So a tight game up until that happened.
Missed opportunities.
So Newfoundland did come around the works and drew to the back one, so they're laying.
Actually, it's a very nice shot, and he is shot rock locked on. So.
Yeah. And of course, now we're going to see the peels. Northern Ontario's decided that's time to get rid of some of this front.
He's going to get the one.
And they'd be satisfied with that. One is fine.
That's where you tend to think, oh, geez, I need to get a double out there, and I'll throw the high hard one.
Yeah, no. They wouldn't have minded clipping the second one. Might have driven it into what's going on in the house, and that would have been okay too. But right now, just making the peel, they make Newfoundland replace it. They'd love for Newfoundland to come into the house.
So Scott Henderson being asked to.
And he is coming.
Top of the 4-foot.
He's coming right in, and I really think that. Northern Ontario wanted Newfoundland to make this play.
So we got Newfoundland with two stones locked on to Northern Ontario, but I think he's going to play in the guard, right?
Oh yeah, he's going to play the guard. Not sure what the boys are trying to talk him into, but I know the good play there is getting rid of that guy.
And on the next sheet to us, it looks like New Brunswick has stolen one, so that game is all tied up after 6, 5-5.
Yeah, the girls come back well, got a bearing going there.
And this is overcrowing on them.
I think they were making this play. They're trying to run that back and clip those.
Okay.
Yeah, and
still
accomplished it. He rolled away through enough weight that if he hit it anywhere off center, he rolled away. But if he had nailed that into those front two, I think you see the shot rock in the back go.
And they, for Northern Ontario, they don't care that there's any rocks in play, right?
No, they don't.
It's Newfoundland that would really love to.
They know they have enough points right now to win the game.
Yeah.
So it's just all about eliminating chances for the other team.
All right, Neil Power with the first of the mates rocks for Newfoundland here in the 7th end. These are 8-end games, so.
Yeah. So once again, you're seeing Lawrence coming up to the house. They're trying to get something out in front, replacing the guard that was just taken off. They don't want the guard really, really tight.
Maybe a little deeper than it was.
Yeah.
Than he would have liked.
Yeah, so you're going to see probably a smash here again.
Getting back to what you were just referring to with Mr. Zirkin.
Yeah. So, and you can tell he likes to throw the BB, so I think he's just going to get the top rock, but they don't mind that so long as they roll away, and it doesn't take much to roll away. Didn't miss those back two by much.
No. And again, that moved even with that weight. So.
Yeah. Anything that he shoots across the face of that red rock, you get that drag effect, so you're going to get you're probably going to pop what's in behind it too, which is just what you want to do. You want to open things up as much as you can. Newfoundland would love to steal two, but they'd take one here in a minute. And that'll make them play the last end, right? Because I'm sure if you see Northern Ontario score, this is probably going to be time to go for a sip.
Neil Powers trying to put that guard back on the center line. And again, it seems to be drifting a little deep, but
yeah. Now you see Neil really threw a dead handle on this rock, and so the rock is just grabbing and going, right? The rock might have didn't take quite a full turn the whole way down. So when you have a sharp stone and you throw we always called it a lazy handle. So you throw a lazy handle like that, it's really going to go in there.
All right, so decisions here.
Yeah, the good thing for Neil is he actually guarded the right side.
Timeout for Northern Ontario.
So he took away the drag the other way.
So I guess they're thinking maybe ignoring that last guard and going after the ones in the house. Eh?
Yeah, making a play in the house. Ideally, to hit this, you'd really like to hit it on the right side. It gives you a little drag in the back yellow, so you disturb what's in behind. And you might squeeze the top red off to the left a little bit and give yourself a little shot at the...
Yeah, you might get 3 of the 4, right?
Yeah, which would be a big bonus for them.
I think the Northern Ontario 5th is going to come out to discuss it with them, and of course the time doesn't kick in till he actually gets there, so I think he took the long way around. Just saying.
Yeah.
And of course he's walking across the board, so he doesn't want to be walking when people are shooting. So.
Yeah, he's letting them release. Which is proper etiquette.
Oh, for sure. And they're not allowed to stand on the ice, so he has to stay at the backboard.
Yeah. So he's giving the hi guys what's going on. Oh, he's down the ice.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And the official's right there, too.
Yeah. Well, Lauren knows the game. I've been in lots of events where he's officiated.
And he's the head official this week. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And time's in.
Yeah. So they are going after the guard, Joe.
Yeah. Well, you run this just a little, hit this a little off center, and run it into the side of your own red, and you could actually make absolutely everything go wet with what we call a drag effect here, right? You're going to drag the yellow rock into that back red on an angle, and who knows what could happen.
And Darren Zirkin is the man that can do it.
Yes, he can throw the pepper.
We haven't had a lot of big weight coming this way, so...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, I'm surprised that he missed that back. Had to hit it.
Interesting.
Yeah, you had to hit it just a little more on the side, right? Hit it too direct.
You know, that other red almost stuck around. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you really had to hit that a little more on the outside, on the nose,
right,
to get the desired effect. If you had just made it hit it and just got a couple of turns, would have squirted the rock we see on the top over the left a little more, and probably would have made contact with the back too. So now Lauren's back to throwing up a guard. I see, would have been a really tough shot to make, but I see why they're trying to play it.
Yeah, sure. So now Lauren's the first of the skips rocks from Newfoundland here in the 7th end.
And Newfoundland's taken the left side of the sheet away from Northern Ontario now, the way it stands. So he'd like to get something just across center line a little bit.
He's got to get to center line, right?
Yeah. And the way this rock's moving, for sure, it's coming to center. So he just wants to just cross it just a touch.
Nice draw. Yep.
Yeah, and kind of take away the other turn. I think you'll see Gary. He's going to come in. He's not going to wait.
Wow.
Yeah. That's I'm sure Lauren would have liked to just been top 12 or biting the 8-foot. and it would have just in the exact same line that he's in. He didn't want to curl over anymore, but just back that, just to tighten up the chance for the come around.
Yeah, I don't know that wouldn't have had him going after the other.
Oh, for sure he would have chased it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But Lauren, if he makes a play, stealing one's great, but Lauren, this end or the other end has to steal too, and that would have been a chance for something like that. He's going to have to get Gary, who doesn't seem to have made a mistake this game, to make a shot for him. He needs a little help.
Yep. He seemed to get out on the broom on that, and they're holding it pretty well. However, I don't know if he's quite strong enough. When that weight comes off it, boy,
it goes sideways. Yeah, and really, even if he had gotten by, it wouldn't have gotten by much. Now I think Lauren can come around the one he just threw and get in for first and second shot. See, he's coming in saying, let's come in this way. Really like the call, because like I said before, he has to steal a deuce in one of these ends.
Yeah. Well, in one of these ends, and then still make a steal to tie it up.
Yeah. We'll play one at a time, though.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you're right. He's got to accomplish that first.
Yeah, he does. He does have to make.
He's got his work cut out.
Yeah, got to make a play for a deuce in one of these ends.
Well, he's certainly set up, as you say, Joe, right now for.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a better release for him.
Yeah, the rock was out in front of himself. He wasn't thrown from his feet.
And he got to the hog. And
yeah. That's what we've seen.
Now they got to watch this
most of the game.
As soon as it gets to the hog line,
boys. I think I would jump her, because once it goes, it's gone, and it's already gone.
No.
Yeah, they waited just way too long on that. That was a good pickup, Arnold. That was a very good pickup, and I think Gary positively can't throw any weight at this. He's got to, because you can run that back, clip your own out, and give up a deuce here, and he doesn't want to do that. So
I think he's going to give him the one, don't you?
Yeah, he's playing a draw. He's going to try and come around his own and say, maybe I can touch a full 4 foot enough to. Yeah.
Well, that I'd be questioning maybe trying to make the tap up.
Yeah.
For you. Shut him down, getting one.
Yeah.
I mean, again, risk for reward. What's it got to lose?
Yeah. You're just talking about it like a T-line tap, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. T-line tap's not a bad call.
Because I mean, he's only playing against one.
Yeah. He's very worried of overthrowing this and losing his back yellow, right?
Yes, and if he underthrows it.
The back yellow only has to move 2 or 3 inches for the red rock on the left front of the button. That's what he's playing. I think he's playing the soft tap.
Yeah, but I think that's moving too hard for him.
Yeah, it looks like it might have crossed
it. May have held it.
Look at that! Look at that!
Beauty shot.
What a pistol! What a pistol!
Very nicely done. They held it. Those sweepers held that.
That was
because I really thought that was moving.
That was a great throw, boys.
So, one for Northern Ontario. That's 7-4 with 1 end to go.
Yeah, I thought it might have been Pepsi time, but looks like we're going to keep playing.
Once again, we are at the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championships being held at the Miramichi Curling Club. Play started yesterday on Monday and will terminate on Saturday the 24th. There are draws the remainder of the week, 4 draws each day. At 9 o'clock, 12:30, 4 o'clock, and 7:30. You're more than welcome to come join us here at the Miramichi Curling Club on Cove Road. There's great viewing, lots of good food, and I think there's going to be some entertainment a little later tonight. So
I think Terry Whalen's on tonight.
Good time will be had by all. So first rock for Northern Ontario thrown right through. Anderson obviously going to be playing what I call garbage.
Yeah. 4 is a big ask. three's tough enough. Four is a big ask. You don't usually see him giving up too often. So I think we'll see part of an end this end, and
I think you're right.
yeah, unfortunately, such a great game the first half, and
Well, that 4-ender kind of took the wind out of the sails.
It hangs up there ugly for Newfoundland and glorious for Northern Ontario. It's just one of those things.
And it wasn't the end, as we said, developed, and that's what usually happens. Just develops.
Yeah, the whole game there were lots and lots of rocks in play, and you're right. It just didn't take much, and all of a sudden, there we were.
We had an 8-ender scored here at the Monctonian last weekend, and there's a team from Quebec who ultimately ended up winning from Valleyfield. And the boys, it was the first time there. They had a great time, and it was against Garth Christie from no, sorry, not the 8-ender, but they were in the finals against Garth Christie from Fredericton, and a real close-fought game for the final.
Had played Garth Christie a few times, and another gentleman of the game.
Absolutely, win or lose, just a joy to play.
Yeah.
His son was playing with them, and I think he had a cousin there. They had 2 teams in this year, so it was great. We're trying to grow that back into a bit of a tournament like it used to be. We've included club play, which ladies can play in, so it made for a nice weekend.
Yes. Always been one of the premier participation bonds fields in the Maritimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Never had the pleasure to be in it, but I would love to have.
Yeah.
Just one of those things when you, it's very early in the year for us.
It's always November, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't think it this year, but most years I'd be still a referee in soccer in the middle of November.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we get this guard up, and then everything else has got to go in the house.
Yeah. And now that we're into the second stones, of course, you're going to see rocks disappear.
Northern Ontario team has played very well.
Yeah, they've been played the game very defensively for an offensive game. They've the skip has shown great confidence in his draw weight, and we said that earlier. You know, when you feel like you can find the rings and you know where the rings are, it just makes a world of difference out there.
Yeah.
Oh. So we've seen another guard go up, and of course Northern Ontario is just going to keep hitting everything in sight.
It looks like
Newfoundland's down to putting rocks in the rings. They're going to try and stack 4 behind this corner guard.
And it looks like New Brunswick just picked up a
steal of 4.
A steal of 4. That
yeah,
in the 7th end, so in the girls' game. So
yeah. She had PEI had draw just into the 8-foot, but with that big swing and a slow handle, just touched the 2 guards out front. They jumped it, but jumped it late. Once the rock starts to go, it's gone. So
That's
you
right.
have to anticipate the sweep.
When the weight
and
comes
the
off it, yeah.
Yeah, the sweep and the curl, because it's going to dive.
So this is going to be an active part of the sheet right now.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky trying to stack 4 rocks behind one. And, Northern Ontario really just have to make one more go away that's in the house. I'm sure if this is exposed, it'll be the rock, and if not, they'll just clip that long guard.
And from your view, I'm sure, Joe, you can see that...
you can see at least half of that.
Yeah.
Half to 3/4. He's just going to bring the weight down a little bit and counting a bit of the curl. And I'm sure on this throw, you'll see that he definitely won't be full of the boom, right? Darren's going to make sure that he gets one rock or the other, and either rock's a success. But he's by the front guard, and he's definitely got the rock in the house. So that's.
I would say that is game over.
That is it.
So we have Northern Ontario defeating Newfoundland 7-3, which completes the feature game. Are you going anywhere else? No. So we are right. Our thank you to Bell Alliant and all the sponsors. Joe, it was a great
evening.
Great evening.
Great night curling.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see folks out at the club here the rest of the week, taking in some of the great action.
Very good, and that's it for now, and good night to all.
Thank you.